talk about tight hips. So I've been getting a lot of people talking to me in the comments about their tight hips. They've been sitting all day, or maybe they've been taking a long car ride, and the part of the hips that really starts to bug them is usually right here. So let's talk about 2 ways we can stretch and then strengthen so that we can get rid of that achy hip pain. What you're going to need, I have an old pillowcase, but you could use an old towel. Here, you can use an old towel, or you can use whatever you like to use. A paper plate, you can use anything. Another thing you're going to need is one of these exercise bands. So I don't like the cloth exercise bands for this. I really like the rubbery ones, and it just makes it a little bit easier for me. Let's start. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come into what I call proposal position. Take one leg forward, take the part that needs stretching. So this would be the tight hip. And we're going to make sure the glute is engaged. Make sure that you are having your ribs above your hips. So you don't want to be in this position trying to push the thigh bone forward. That could really hurt your hip, and it'll also hurt your low back. Try to make sure that you're stacked nice and even, glute is engaged, and you should feel a nice little release at the front of your hip here. Maybe even in the inner thigh, maybe in the quad, depending on where you're tight. What we're going to do is we're going to add some rotation to that. So come to take your hands, cross them, have them about shoulder height. Take a deep inhale. As you rotate toward the side, we're going to stretch. Try to turn only your mid back, not the hips, not the low back. And then you're going to come back to the center and then take it to the other side and come back to center. So what you want to avoid doing is trying to make the rotation happen with your neck. So instead of just thinking that I'm getting all this rotation because my neck is turning, that's not really what we want. Keep your eyes focused over your arms, and then just let your body take you as far as your body can go. And then you'll take it to the other side. One other thing that I'd like you to do is to reach the arm forward, the arm of the side that's being stretched. We're going to extend it up to the ceiling, and we're going to reach over to the opposite side. Try not to let your hips wobble. Try not to take the hips with you. And then you're going to pull back to center. Take that down. So that should give you a nice release in the hip that you're having the tightness in. You should do it on both sides just because we want to be even on both sides. So let's get to strengthening. Take your band to start first. Come to lie down with the band around your feet. We're going to lie down on your back, arms by your side. Try to get your low back to the mat. Bring your legs up. And this is going to be an exercise where there's a lot of holding. So try to have your knees in line over your hips, your shins nice and level. We're going to pull one knee into you while pushing the other foot away from you. Try not to let the shoulders round up. We're going to hold it for about 5 seconds. And then we're going to switch sides. And we're going to pull the knee in and push the opposite leg away. So don't let one leg work harder than the other. Try to work really hard through both legs. I'm going to do it again on both sides. And make sure you're not holding your breath. You want to take nice deep inhales and nice deep exhales. And then switch sides. And I want you to do that about 10 to 12 times for each side, holding 5 seconds each time. The last thing we're going to do is to grab your old towel. I'm using an old pillowcase. You can use a paper plate, use whatever you like to use, or you can even just use slippery socks if you have a hardwood floor like me. Come so that you have a little cushion for your knees. You're going to take whatever you have and place it under one foot. Make sure that you are in a nice flat back position, so we're not going to let the back arch, and we're not going to let the back round. We're going to have a nice flat back, push away from the floor, and then you're going to push through your foot and reach it behind you without taking the shoulders with you. So your whole body should be nice and active without letting the shoulders travel. You're then going to pull the knee in as deep as you can until you push it out again. We're going to inhale, reach the knee away. And then exhale, pull the knee back in. We'll do it one more time. We're going to reach, push the knee away. And then we're going to pull the knee back in, back in, back in. And those are 2 exercises that will help strengthen that area of your hips called the psoas. Sometimes the psoas gets really tight and cranky, especially if you're in this position all day. If I'm sitting here all day, my hip flexors are doing exactly that. They're being flexed and they're going to be overly worked. An overly worked muscle does not mean it's a strong muscle. It can in fact mean that it's a tight muscle. So we always want to stretch and release the muscle before we start to strengthen it. Try not to do one or the other. You don't get to choose. You have to do stretching and then you're strengthening. If you only stretch the hip muscle, your relief is going to be really temporary because you're not building strength in the muscle that you're stretching. And if you try to strengthen it before you stretch it, you're not going to be able to strengthen it optimally because it's going to be so super tight still. So do these exercises, do your stretch and then do your strengthening. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you get some relief in your hips, and share this with a friend who you know is sitting all day and who could use a little hip relief. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.